So this video is how to set up webhooks using GoHighLevel, sending them into MediZues to get your clients over. I'm not going to go into customizations. I'm not going to go into best practices. I'm just going to show you how to set it up, and then from there, you can run with it. All right. So first thing is to hop into your MediZues account and go to your dashboard. Now within your dashboard, there's a folder section. All right. So hit this, expand this. Now you got folders. And your folders are going to be, everybody's different. You're going to label your folders. You're going to organize your life differently. So you could organize it by carrier. If you're an LOA shop, you might be organizing your folders by agent. Doesn't matter. But just for this example, we're going to choose the first one that says one folder. Okay. And so this is where we want our clients to get sent from GoHighLevel to this folder in particular. So each folder has a unique destination, and you find it by clicking the paper airplane icon. And from here, you want to copy it. Okay, so hit this little button, and now it's copied. Now hop into GoHighLevel and go to your automations and workflows, hit create workflow. I already have one, and it's this guy. Label it whatever you want. I like to label it with something to do with the destination, so I know what folder it's going to in MediZues. So to MediZues folder, one folder, right? Whatever folder I chose. If I was making a web or a workflow that would send data into the UHC folder, the way that I would do it personally is just to MediZues folder UHC, right? Okay. So trigger, again, I'm not going to show you how to best use case and how to set up your CRM. You have a certain way of setting up your CRM and your previous workflows. This is just going to give you an idea of how it works. So the trigger doesn't really matter. And this one, I just have it as a tag added, and the tag is whatever. So it doesn't mean anything. Not that important. The more important thing is the action. Okay, so you hit this plus icon, you search for webhook, and boom, you got it. So click that. I already have it set up, so I'm just going to click this. Name it whatever you want. Method is post. Don't choose get, choose post. And then in here, this is going to be blank. Okay, just hit paste. Boom. And it's going to paste that destination. The way that webhooks work essentially is you have your data in GoHighLevel, and you have a destination, which is that MediZues folder. And you're just going to push the data to the folder. So that's why it's called a destination, right? Because that's where you're pushing it. Cool. Now, MediZues has to validate that the webhook data getting sent over is authorized. And how does it do that? Via an API key. Okay. So you want to hit headers, add item. In the key, this is the same for everybody. Okay. API key, if you go to MediZues.com/API, or you just hit integrations, you'll have all this documentation laid out for you. And so for the key, it's going to be MediZues-API-key. Okay, so copy that and just paste that right here. And then for the value, go back into MediZues, go to your account, and everybody's account's going to have a unique API key. It's unique to you. Copy that, paste it in the value, boom. That webhook is created. It's save action. Now, one really important thing to remember is go to settings, and allow re-entry. Okay, MediZues will automatically remove duplicates, so it's okay if you send the same person to MediZues twice. It'll automatically remove them. So allow re-entry, and then hit save. All right. Now we're going to choose the people that we want to send to that MediZues folder. So these are a bunch of dummy clients, just so I don't have to blur everything out. So I'm going to select, I want to do 3 of these guys. Okay, you could choose 20, you could choose 4,000, doesn't matter. It's all going to run seamlessly. I want to do 3 of them. Now, before I send them over, I have to make sure a couple things. I have to make sure that the MBI and the date of birth are logged into each contact. and we'll go over format. So let me click on the contact and show you. So most of you guys are using custom fields. If you don't know what a custom field is, learn what a custom field is and add it. You should know that by now. So I'm gonna assume that you do. So with your custom fields, you should be tracking all of your clients' MBIs. Just have them on file. Now, the custom field can be labeled MBI. It could also be labeled a couple different things. If you have it labeled as any of these, it's going to be okay. MediZues is going to recognize it because MediZues needs two pieces of data. It needs the MBI and the date of birth. So as long as you send both of those pieces of data to MediZues via webhook, it's going to recognize and it's going to work properly. So if you have the MBIs labeled as Medicare ID, or you have them labeled as Medicare number, right here, this is Medicare number, Medicare ID, Medicare beneficiary indicator, any of these, Medicare ID number, MBIs, right? You have them labeled as that, MediZues is going to recognize it. If you have it as like Medicare number, right? No good. It's got to be one of these. Okay. Cool. As far as date of births go, you can have it labeled as DOB, birth date, or date of birth. And the cool thing is, as far as formats go, you can have the DOB with dashes or slashes, right? And the way that we do it via spreadsheet importing previously, we did not support this format, but we do with webhooks, which is great, okay? And as far as the MBIs go, you can have it a normal MBI, you can have it with the dashes, or you can have it with spaces. MediZues is going to recognize all that. It's going to remove dashes and spaces, so you're good to go. So if some of your clients have it just normally, some of your clients have dashes, some of your clients have spaces, doesn't matter. It could be an amalgamation of all of them, and MediZues is going to function properly. It's going to recognize it and remove dashes and spaces. So the other thing to note is that with an MBI and the date of birth, you need to have both. MediZues needs both in order to create a row within the MediZues dashboard folder. So if you only have the MBI but no date of birth, it ain't gonna work. If you don't have the MBI but you do have a date of birth, it isn't gonna work. Okay, so you need the MBI, you need the date of birth. In this case, I just have a random MBI. I literally just went like that on my keyboard. And date of birth is 01/01/2020, but it's in slashes. Okay, so cool. Now I have that for all of my clients here, all like 4,000. Okay, now if you have your date of births in a different format, there's a way to reformat them. I'm not going to go over that in this video. I'll make another video about that, but there's a way to reformat them, and you are going to have to reform. If you have it such as like year, dash month, dash day, it's not going to work with MediZues. So assuming that you're good to go, we're good to go. So select the people that you want. You want to do 3 of them, you want to do 20 of them, you want to do all 4,000. 4,000 will take like a couple minutes. I'm not going to do it for this demo, but it does work seamlessly. So I have them selected, and there's a couple ways that I could trigger the workflow. I could add that whatever tag, because that's the way the workflow is set up, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add them manually to the workflow. So add to workflow. I'm going to choose that workflow. This is that workflow that I have. Sweet. Action is send to MediZues. What's today? Oh, today's Pi Day. Yeah, 3.14. We'll leave it as that. Actually, it's 24. Okay. And add to campaign workflow. Cool. So right now, GoHighLevel is taking those 20 contacts and it's sending it to MediZues, to that folder that destination folder. Okay, so what's that oh, they're here. Boom, they're already here. Yeah, all 20 of them. So what's that destination folder? I got ahead of myself here. It worked faster than I could explain. So what's that destination folder? One folder. Now, let's just say you had on one screen GoHighLevel and another screen MediZues, and you did it in GoHighLevel, it would take a second, but you wouldn't see it pop up dynamically. What you would have to do is hit another folder and then go back to the folder and refresh. It won't, you don't have to refresh up here, but you have to go to two folder, go to another folder, go back to one folder, and boom, it'll populate. Beautiful. So now you have all 20 people in that folder. This is great. So from here, you want to run a report. So you highlight all your clients, you hit fetch data, and you're good to go. These aren't real MBIs. So there's no point in me doing that. It's not going to bring back any data. So now, yeah, that's webhooks in a nutshell. That's sending your data from GoHighLevel over to MediZues. Now, I did it manually because I added them to the workflow manually. But if you have it all set up with automations and triggers, then it's going to do this on a regular basis. And I'll make videos about best practices and tips and tricks that we've learned from users and also that I use myself. So cool. So that's how you get the data from your CRM GoHighLevel into MediZues.